Hi everyone! Today I would like to start somewhat of a new series describing differences between Enneagram types. So if in a lot of previous videos I compared different MBTI types like ENFP and ESFP, INFP and INFJ, ENFJ and INFJ, ESFJ and ENFJ, and so on and so forth, today I would like to start a series where I compare different Enneagram types and contrast the most important differences. And I would like to start this series by describing Enneagram 1 and Enneagram 3. Because a lot of the times I see people not being sure whether they're a 1 or a 3, and I believe that there are some important key differences that can be highlighted with respect to this. So all about that in the next few minutes. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's dive in. So, what are the differences between Enneagram 1 and Enneagram 3? For those of you who have been following me for a while, especially on Instagram as well, you've probably noticed that I really like talking about differences between types in terms of the different groups or triads that they are part of. So I'm going to start with that, and then I'm also going to be talking about fears, desires, and so on and so forth. So one of the really important distinctions here is that Enneagram 1 is a compliant type, whereas Enneagram 3 is an assertive type. What does this mean? Well, Enneagram 1, being a compliant type, is more likely to be focused on doing things for other people and complying to other people's needs, expectations, and so on and so forth. So if someone is an Enneagram 1, they are more likely to feel like they are often making sacrifices for other people, doing things to prioritize other people's needs and perceptions of things, and they are complying to rules, to regulations, to expectations. On the other hand, Enneagram 3 is an assertive type, which means that this is a more extroverted, a more independent person that is more likely to take the lead, that is more likely to be a go-getter, to set goals for themselves and to go and achieve them. This also means that an Enneagram 3 is more likely to make their presence felt in a room. And I think this is really important. Ones are less likely to draw attention to themselves because they tend to be more socially introverted and focused on supporting and helping others, whereas Enneagram 3s sometimes they also want to comply, of course, with other people's expectations, but being an assertive type, they are more likely to make their presence felt in a room. This is also how Rizzo and Hudson were describing assertive types in their book, The Wisdom of the Enneagram. And I think sometimes people have difficulty with this because it doesn't seem to be as obvious for Enneagram 3 as it is for 7 and 8, who are also assertive types, especially if, for example, they're a self-preservation subtype. The 3s are not as socially extroverted as the 7 or the 8, or they might appear like they are not as interested in drawing attention to themselves. However, compared to the 1, they still do that more. Now, from the perspective of a different classification, Enneagram 3 is an attachment type, whereas Enneagram 1 is a frustration type. Both of these descriptions, attachment and frustration, belong to the object relations theory. This is a general psychological theory, but it has been applied to the Enneagram as well. So Enneagram 1, being a frustration type, is a type that is more likely to know what they want or what they need in order to feel content. And they go for it, maybe they get it, and then they feel like, okay, this is not enough. So they are more likely to manifest frustration for the fact that they achieved something that they wanted, but it doesn't seem like it's enough, and now they want something else, they want something different. This is a similarity they have with types 7 and types 4, who are also frustration types. And they are more likely to show or to exude this anger in a way, this energy of being frustrated and annoyed. On the other hand, Enneagram 3, being an attachment type, is less likely to show this kind of frustration or annoyance, and they're more likely to feel like they struggle to dissociate themselves from external things. And it depends. These external things can mean different things. They can mean people, situations, achievements, money, results, material things. It depends on the context and on the person and on their other personality dimensions. However, 3s struggle more with attachment to things, to people, to situations, which causes them to have a bit of a difficulty clarifying who they are outside of those things. Of course, for them, the biggest pain point is related to achievement and performance and results, and they might struggle to know or feel who they are if they do not have those particular results or if they do not achieve or perform in a specific way. Therefore, I would say that even though they're not a thinking triad type, they're not an anxiety type per se, they do come across as more anxious or stressed, whereas Enneagram 1 tends to come across as more frustrated or annoyed. Okay, and then why are these types confused? What happens here? The thing is that Enneagram 1 and 3 are both interested in doing a good job. This is a common theme, and if you only look at this superficially, we might struggle to differentiate between the two. However, the difference is that for Enneagram 3, it is incredibly important to perform well and that other people see this, that they impress other people with their results, achievements, skills. They want to be perceived as outstanding by others, and of course, sometimes what they actually do might align with how other people perceive them. So they really do a great job, therefore they have a good result, and therefore they get appreciation. But in some contexts, these do not align with each other, which means that they might not actually do a great job, but it might appear to the outside world that they are very good at what they do. Maybe because they cheated, or maybe because someone else did the work for them, or I don't know, for different reasons. However, they still get the appreciation, and this is something that matters a lot to them. However, I've noticed that in time, a lot of Enneagram 3s feel like they are an imposter if this is the case, if the results that they achieved or the praise that they get from people does not match how they actually feel about the work that they put in. So this can be a really important developmental step for Enneagram 3. On the other hand, Enneagram 1 is more focused on themselves feeling like what they did is good, is perfect, is up to a specific standard. Because Enneagram 1 cares more about their standards of morality, integrity, and so on and so forth. And sometimes they might associate the work that they do with those standards that they set for themselves and for their work. And this means that they get more and more interested in creating something of value, creating something that they perceive to be perfect. And a lot of the times they might get specific types of feedback from people, even good feedback. And it's not like they do not care about other people's feedback. Of course, appreciation is important to everyone, regardless of their type. But for Enneagram 1, it might really feel like, I really do not care about your good feedback if I feel like the work that I did is not good. And they will really focus on making it better and better and better. The problem is that even though this is a good thing to want to improve your work, to want to, grow and learn and develop and so on and so forth, if your standards are too high, if you're expecting perfection, it's unlikely that you will ever be able to reach that. And for that matter, they might feel like they're constantly failing or being not good as individuals, or evil or corrupt, and they might do things that kind of go against that. Okay, so these are some of the most important notable differences that we see between Enneagram 1 and Enneagram 3. 1 is a compliant type, 3 is an assertive type. 1 is a frustration type, 3 is an attachment type. And then from the perspective of work, perfection, recognition, we have also highlighted some of the most important differences. Okay, so these are my thoughts. If you feel like there's anything else you might want to add, feel free to do it. As always, thanks a lot for watching this video, thanks a lot for being with me, and see you next time with another video on typology.